Welcome back to my channel Teaching Learning English. Today in this video I am going to talk about the general concept of English grammar, especially focusing to the noun. Nouns are the very important words that are learned by a children also in the very beginning of his or her life, of their life. So noun, they are learned in the beginning. Similarly, noun plays a very vital role in the sentence. Noun are used as a subject and they are used as an object also in English and some other languages also, so that they are very important. Today in this video we are going to understand in a more clear, convincing way or clearer way about the noun. So first of all, let's move to the definition. What noun is? Nouns are the naming word. They refer to the person, place, or things. And this is very traditional definition of noun. Noun are those words which function as the subject and object in a sentence structurally. And more importantly, we can say that they are the referring word. They refer to the three important things. They refer they refer to the objects, and they refer to the things, and they refer to the substance, and they refer to the materials, and so on. A noun can be categorized into different types on the basis of its parameters, on the basis of its nature. Okay. So first of all, noun is obviously singular and plural. If it is one, then we say singular, no need to be worried that much. If it is many, then we say that is plural. So singular noun and plural noun. A boy, two boys. A single boy, three boys. One boy, five boys. So that way we have the singular and plural. That is one category or classification of noun. In another classification of noun, we simply look at the countability. Countable noun and uncountable noun. When we were in school, at that time teacher used to teach us in a very serious way what is countable and what is uncountable. The word in itself suggests us that if the noun is countable, if it is possible to count 1, 2, 3, 4, then it is called countable. And if it is not possible to count 1, 2, 3, 4, then it is said uncountable or non-count noun. So these are very important things. Very important things we often check. And in countable also, in singular, for example, here is an example: a star, one star, and a single star. This is the category of singular noun. And in plural noun, you can say 2 stars, 3 stars, and 7 stars. All these are the plural nouns. So another category of noun can be group noun. On the basis of the group, they are categorized in a group. For example, a group of stars, a small group of stars, a big or a large group of stars. So that way also we can categorize noun on the basis of a group. So when we talk group noun, at that time we are referring to the set and class, or let's say group of the things, people, or places. For example, one group of star, three group of star, a set of tools, two sets of tools, a class of insects, several class of insects. So that way we can also classify noun on the basis of its group. And there are some specific nouns which are used in a very specific way. For example, they also are called as group nouns. For example, if you say army, it goes with soldier. For example, let me read out some of the examples. An army of soldiers, a crowd of people, a herd of cattle, a crew of soldiers, a crew of sailors, a gang of thieves, or use a pack of cards or constellation of stars. So that way also particular group of nouns goes with the particular items, so they are very special. And when we practice group noun, at that time many learners and students, they have the confusion whether group nouns are singular or plural. In general case, group nouns are called the singular noun. For example, they are singular. A group has decided to go ahead even though there is no permission from the higher authority. The committee has mobilized its member to bring awareness, to develop the awareness among the people. So that way we often, government has launched, government has mobilized the army to control or to control the infection of coronavirus, COVID-19. So that way we use group noun is the singular, but you can also use group noun as plurals, because if you are using group noun as plural, then what you are doing is you are using it as you refer to the members of the group, part of the group. That way you can use the group noun. For example, the government has mobilized army to protect the life of people. Another example, the government have mobilized army to protect the life of people. So first sentence, in first sentence the word government is singular, it is group noun. In the second sentence it is plural even though it is group noun. So group noun, in some specific cases they are used for singular and plural. For example, committee, team, administration, government, so that way, a class, that way. And another division, another category of noun can be done on the basis of its part and whole. If you are referring to the part of some object, some things, or some some items, then that is called part noun. And if you are using the whole entity, whole thing, then that is called whole noun. For example, the whole cake. If you say the whole cake, that is the the whole noun. And if you say a slice of the cake, half of the cake, a quarter of the cake, at that time you are using the noun as the whole. Similarly, the division of objects and substances. So for example, while using the part noun, we can use the things like bread, a piece of bread. A piece means you are referring to the part of that bread, not whole bread. Okay, that is called part noun. Piece of bread, a piece of paper, a piece of land, a bit of food, a bit of pant, a bit of air. So that way also they are also used in a very specific way. So noun can be whole or part. Similarly, and there are some specific ways how we can use part noun with the different nouns. Okay, for example, let me give you some example. A blade of grass, a block of ice, a pile of rubbish, 2 lumps of sugar, several cups of coffee, a sheet of paper, a speck of dust, a bar of chocolate, a length of new rope, a fresh load of hay. So that it means like the group noun that we did just before. Similarly, in case of part noun also, the specific reference, specific terminologies are used to the part of that noun. For example, with the grass, it's a blade. With the ice, it is block. With the rubbish, it's a pile. With the coffee, it's cup. So that way they are also specified in a specific way. So another noun is also called nouns of measure. They measure actually the weight, the length, the distance. For example, a kilo of sugar, and they also measure the depth, okay, width, length, a yard of cloth, 20 meters of rope, a kilo of flour, an area also, an acre of land, a hectare of rough ground, 20 square miles of woodland, a pint of beer, a liter of milk. So that way we measure. We measure the nouns, so they are called nouns of measure or measure nouns. And another is species nouns. That means a type or kind. When you use those words with the nouns, type of dog, kind of people, kind of animals, kind of schools, at that time they are called species. Species means type of cow. They refer to the particular type or kind, so they are called species nouns. Similarly, noun can be categorized into count and mass noun. So count noun we can count, and mass noun we cannot count. But sometimes there are some nouns which are both count and mass. For example, wood. Let me give the example. Wood is normally mass noun. It is uncountable noun, but in special cases we can count it. For example, we went for a walk in the woods. Okay. In America, a lot of houses are made up of wood. So the second one is mass noun. First one is count noun. So woods. Okay. We use 3 woods to fix this bed. This bed is made up of wood and iron. So that way you can use countable and uncountable noun. Similarly, let me give you some other examples also which are very interesting. We can say that there was a huge cake in the dining room. A huge cake. Let them eat cake, said the queen. So a huge cake is countable, or let them eat cake is uncountable. How many cake? It is not mentioned over there. Similarly, another example, she began peeling potatoes. She took a mouthful of potato. Very interesting. Peeling potatoes means 1, 2, 3, 4. Mouthful of potato means you eat and your mouth is full with the potato. You cannot say 1 potato, 2 potato, fill off your mouth. Similarly, do we have enough food for the weekend? So here uncount or non-count nouns. Some of the tastiest foods are pretty digestible. Some of the tasty foods are difficult to digest, or it may create some problem in digestive system. So that way food can be food and foods, countable and uncountable. Potato can be countable and uncountable. Cake can be countable and uncountable. Wood can be countable and uncountable. Uncountable means mass noun. Countable means count noun. Okay, that way also we can use noun. Similarly, let me give you some examples. Do you have a fresh loaf? Fresh bread of loaf. Okay. Would you like a meal? She is looking for a new job. There are too many vehicles on the road. These are some of the example of count noun. If you go to the mass noun, do you have some fresh bread? Would you like some more food? She is looking for some interesting work. This is too much traffic on the road. So that way also we can use count noun and mass nouns. Another important noun is concrete and abstract. Those nouns which you can see, you can actually touch, you can test, those things are called concrete nouns. You can actually, they are in your visuals. You can look, you can see them, but abstract noun are those nouns which are, you just can feel them. So you can't see or you can't reveal it directly. You can say, some examples of, this, concrete and abstract noun. Concrete means stone, pencil, cell phones, okay, people and trees, they are concrete nouns. But abstract nouns which you can't see like the concrete noun, but you can just feel it. For example, you can say that difficulty is an abstract noun. Love, hate, tough, difficulties, experience, okay, and works. Those are the abstract nouns which you can't actually touch and see, but you can just feel them. Okay, so that way also we can classify nouns. So when we actually classify nouns, or we understand noun, at that time we should also understand the amount or quantity. Nouns in terms of the amount and quantity. For example, let me give you some examples. So by using some, okay, all of the cake, the whole of the cake, okay, some of the cake, none of the cake. So that way we can refer to the amount and quantity. All of the cake, some of the cake, and none of the cake. Okay, use with plural nouns like all of the stars, some of the stars, none of the stars. All of the stars, some of the stars, none of the stars. That is also the use of amount and quantity with the nouns. So it is also used with the mass nouns like land. For example, all of the land, some of the land, none of the lands. Please be very careful. So while referring to the amount or quantity, at that time also we can use nouns. Okay. So similarly, there is a small quantity or large quantity. You can say that way also. For example, in case of large quantity, you can say a lot of friends live in San Francisco. It is a mass noun. A lot of friends lives in San Francisco. Similarly, they have lost much of their support. It is the mass noun. So here we have been using many and much to refer to the large quantity. A lot of our friends, a lot of our support, large number of people, a great deal of noise. That way also we can refer to the quantity, a large quantity. And in case of a small quantity, you can say that we managed to speak a few of the guests, little of your time, a small number of our friends. So that way we show the small quantity. That is another important thing. We mention the quantity. Okay. So there are other things also, and there are general and inclusive words which are used with the nouns. General means every, when you use every and each with the nouns, at that time you are using nouns for the general meaning. And if you are using them with any or either, that means any or either, that means negative, for the negative sentences. Any or either that are used for the negative sentences. So that way also we can do for the nouns. And more importantly, these are some of the things that we need to understand while learning nouns. So let me summarize the whole idea that I have mentioned in this video is: what is noun, what are the types, and what are the exact examples of those nouns. So that way, if you practice that way, you will get the clear-cut idea and understanding about nouns. While learning grammar is not that much interesting, many people often believe, but if you arise the interest and motivation while learning grammar, that will be very helpful and exciting to use your English language both for academic and practical purposes. Okay, thank you very much for this time, and I hope this video has been giving you some idea about the nouns and types of the nouns with the examples. And please do not forget to give me some comments and feedbacks. And if you have any questions regarding grammar, English language, I'll practice whatever, I will address those questions and comments. Please stay safe and have a great time. See you in the next video. Thank you.